On this episode of Street Rat Garage, we are back with our latest auction buy, this 2015 Yamaha XV250 that we got from govdeals.com. Let's have a look. So yes, this bike right here, we got it from govdeals.com. It just sort of popped up with a bunch of other trainer bikes. These bikes, it's what they use to teach people how to ride, how to take their test. The state uses these. You can set up an appointment and they will teach you all about the bike, how to ride, all the stuff you need to know. You can get your license, your beginner's permit, whatever. But this is one of those bikes. This is a 2015. It is a Yamaha. It is just a 250. It's just a small bike. It's a trainer bike. But it's a decent bike. These bikes aren't worth a whole lot of money. This one, being a 2015, it only has 607 miles. 607, that's it. So in 11 years, that's all the further they've driven it. They usually just do the training in some parking lot. Here they take them down the street to, I think, Lincoln Tech parking lot. They set up cones and they teach you how to ride a bike. So this may have never gone out on the street, actual street, because they probably just load these up on a trailer and bring them out and set them down, then load them back up again. But there are telltale signs that this is a training bike. For example, there's a little scrape right here. This bracket, this license plate bracket, is bent. No big deal. There's nothing on the seats. There's a little rash right here on the handlebar, on the grip. Same thing on the other side on the grip, and a little bit on the old brake, front brake. Was there some on the clutch handle? Just maybe a touch. What about the turn signals? Yep. On the turn signals, you can see there's asphalt mark right here on this turn signal. Pretty much all the turn signals. But the pipes aren't, well, I was going to say the pipes aren't scraped up, but right there, there's a small line there. Not on that peg because these are kept up. Right there on that peg. Nothing on the chrome, nothing on the engine case, but you know, all the extended parts have marks on them. The tail light housing's okay, fenders are okay, the tank is okay, everything else is okay. Now, we could just replace these, but it's just not that big a deal. Now, the whole reason I bought this bike was my daughter, she likes motorcycles and she's always wanted to learn how to ride one. So what better way to train somebody to ride a motorcycle than on a very inexpensive, very low miles, very easy to ride, actual trainer bike. Now, as always with the state and the way they do things, sometimes these things sit around for a year or two before they actually get around to doing anything with it. It said that this runs. It says it started with a boost and it does run, but it's been sitting around for a long time. And I tried to put a jump pack and everything on it, and the battery's just dead. I took the battery out already. There was hardly any water or anything in it. I took it out, put some water in it, or distilled water, tried to charge it. It wasn't taking a charge. It wouldn't go above like 7 volts. So that's no good. So I went down to Napa because that's what kind of battery it had in it, and I bought a new battery. So we're gonna have to get that filled up. It's the old school battery where you actually put the acid into the battery, and then do you have to charge those after you put the acid in? I can't remember. It's been so long since I did one of those that I have to review that. Or do you just put the acid in and it just comes with a charge? Surely you have to charge those. I forgot. Did I say how much I gave for this? I don't think I did. We won this for, I think the bid was 1,250, like 2 or 3. I always bid a weird off number, and we got it. The person above us bid 1,250, and I believe I bid like 252 or 253, and we got it. Outbid them by like $2 or $3, something like that. But yeah, with taxes and the auction fees, it came to like $1,400 and like 37 cents or something goofy. But again, we had to buy a battery, which isn't awful. It's like $70. Here's your vat of acid. Here's your empty battery shell. They don't sell a whole lot of these at the auto parts store. When I got this, the whole top of the box was actually dusty. It probably been sitting there for a couple of years. Well, fortunately, you have to add the acid to this, so the time doesn't start ticking on these guys until you put the acid in and get it going, because you know, it's not working on the old plates there and draining those guys down. So what we have to do here is we have to undo this and carefully put the acid in each one of the individual cells of this. We have our little caps right here. So I'm going to get this set up, and we're going to pour a little bit of battery acid. Actually, we're going to fill it up into this battery. Got your tube, got extra nuts for it, the caps, all that good stuff. Okay, so I did glance at the instructions real quick. Yeah, you have to hit it with the charger for a little bit, but you got to come in here and snip this guy about half off here. Remove this plastic. And do all this with one hand while you hold a camera. Jam this guy on there again with one hand. Make it all dangerous. Oh, it's got the junk on there. Get that junk off of there, and use your feet to hold it on there. Ugh, get on there. Ugh. Get on there. There she goes. There we go. Move that. Step on that. Then, because it's acid, don't wear any gloves. Of course not. Yeah, but no, seriously, wear gloves when you do this. Don't be like me. And set your camera down. All right, that's probably a little smarter. Just go ahead and set it down. Now we'll be able to see the lines. We're going to fill it up to the where it says lower level. So we're going to fill these cells just one at a time, very carefully. And you can see it going in there. Get in there. There she goes. Give it a little bit of squeeze, not too much, until she comes up to that line. There we go. And just do that over and over again. There we go. Come on, get in there. You got some that aren't clear. It makes it a lot hard. Whoops, and the thing came off. See, I didn't get it on my hands, but that's why you use. That's why you're supposed to be using the gloves. So maybe we'll get some gloves. Okay, so I got some gloves. These aren't the best ones to use. They got rubber on one side, but they're cloth on the other side. And I brought some water just in case. It's not acid that's gonna, you know, rip your skin off immediately. I mean, you can get this on your hands and go wipe it off. You'll wash it off, not gonna hurt anything, but we got the water right here just in case. Just in case or something happens and it splashes in our eye or something. I mean, technically I'm wearing eye protection. I have glasses, but not full full covering my eyes. So you should wear eye protection too. So that's all the good stuff. Probably should wear long sleeves. All that other stuff that you should do, you guys should do. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish filling this up and we'll have a look. It is all filled up and I am just gonna wipe off a little bit of spatter that I got with a towel that I don't care about anymore, and I am going to rinse out and throw away. So get rid of that. Anything that might have spilled on the floor. Clean up the floor a little bit. A little water. All right. And I'm going to toss that. And I'm going to push on my little caps. Then we will be ready to install it into the bike and see if this thing actually does what it says. That is, starts and runs. I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, 600 miles on a bike that never left a parking lot. It should be totally fine. I mean, what could have went wrong? Well, I guess things that could have went wrong is they could have been a training bike. If they actually don't know how to ride a bike, it could probably be a little bit hard on the clutch. And that would be probably the worst part of it. Make sure those are all sealed down real good. There we go. And then we have our little vent tube. We have our little cap here that we have to take off. There it goes. Make sure to take off your little vent tube cap. And actually, I think we have one on the bike already, so we don't really need that one. Now let's install this guy. Oh, sorry, one more quick delay. I do have to charge it. So you can't just pour it in there. I read the instructions. You can't just pour it in there and boom, it's just magically ready to go. Apparently the acid does not carry the charge. It's not charging in the bottle. So I don't have a charger here. So looks like it's time for a run to Harbor Freight. So I took a run real quick to the old Harbor Freight, and well, in the as is cheap aisle, clearance rack, whatever you want to call it, I found this little guy right here. The instructions say not to charge over 2 amps, so it does have a 2 amp feature on it. 2 amp, 5 amps, 10 amps, fast charge of 50 amps, engine start. So that pretty much covers it all. I saw this one, and well, it was marked down to, what's that say? $35.74. Seems like a kind of a weird marking. There's a tag under it. I wanted to see what that little purple tag said. It says return. So this was a return. So somebody, what usually happens here is, well, they had a low battery and they wanted to charge it, but they didn't want to really buy a charger of their own. So they went to the old Harbor Freight Loan-A-Tool department. They got this one. They charged up their battery. They stuck it back in the box and simply returned it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this. It's a little dusty, and the cords are obviously unwound from where they used it. There's a tiny bit of dirt right underneath there. So they connected it, used it one time, charged that one battery, took it right back. So yeah, that seems to happen a lot at Harbor Freight. And when it does, you can pick up some really good deals. This was $50 regular price, so $35. So we saved, $15 just to let somebody use this once. So that's a score. So we are just going to hook up our little battery here. And I placed it on this styrofoam. I don't know if you've heard the old legend, myth, I think it's a myth, that if you leave the battery on the concrete, it discharges it. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing anymore with the plastic sealed, this is not sealed battery, but the plastic batteries. I think that was I don't know. I think that was just an old thing that may have happened or may have not happened. But with modern batteries, I don't think that happens. But I'm going to put it up on there just in case. I'm pretty sure that's just an urban legend that doesn't apply anymore. Probably because, you know, people had their batteries sitting on their concrete for 3 years, and then when they went back to use it, it wasn't any good. So it must have been because it was on the concrete, right? Okay, well, that is going to charge up there for a little while. So I think there's not much to do here. This bike is pretty clean condition overall. It's got 3 miles on the what do you call this, the trip odometer. So let's reset that. I'm gonna reset that back to 0 so we can keep an eye on how much we got it. 607 is where it's at. This is really clean. I already put some gas in the gas tank. Came with a set of keys here. It does not have a Kickstarter on it, right? Yeah, no Kickstarter on it. That's unfortunate. I would like to have that. This has the brake pedal out here off the peg, so you're sort of swooped out like that. Should be a comfortable ride. It should be a pretty easy one for anyone to begin on. I would have thought maybe just even a little bit smaller bike would have been a little bit better, maybe a 125 with like a straight leg design instead of a kickback, but that should work. It's got, I mean, it only has 600 miles. There's nothing, there can't be anything wrong with this besides maybe a clogged up carburetor or something like that. Yeah, looks like she's been serviced at some time on the brakes. The battery said like 2022 on it, so the battery was old. This is a unit number of the motorcycle. This probably can come off. A little bit of scrape right there. Again, this is really good shape for you know, the 12-ish, 1400 with tax that we spent on it, plus another $70 on the battery. But this bike, it was $4,300 brand new, which still, that's not a whole lot of money. $4,300 for a brand new bike. Yeah, that was good. 2015, I'm sure they cost more now because of, you know, inflation. But you can probably still get this for about, I don't know, probably $5,500 or something like that, I would imagine. So good trainer bikes. I mean, Yamaha is not special, and they lose their value pretty quickly. But I mean, 10 years, this only lost about half-ish this value. I mean, we could sell this probably for $2,000, make a little bit of money on it, but that's not what we bought it for. So I think it's a good deal, right? Okay, it's been some time now, and well, it is time to check out this battery. This little jump starter right here has a meter on it, so it's going to tell us how many volts we have in this battery. Let's see. This is orange. This goes to positive. This is orange. This goes to the negative. So here and here we have 13. Oops. 13. So we are charged and ready to go. That's good. All right. A little battery charger did a pretty good job. So if we were like the other person, we could just take that back. But I'll probably need this in the future. And, you know, for 35 bucks, you know, you can't beat that deal. All right, now comes the fun part. Stuffing the tiny battery into just this tiny hole here. And this is the drain for this. There's a couple extra wires here. It had a quick charger, not a quick charger, but a battery tender sort of deal on it before, which I don't know if we should leave that on there or not. I think I'll leave it on there, but I'll leave these wires tucked back here. So it just has two wires, the one positive, one negative. I don't have the charging unit. They didn't give me the charging unit, but they left the lead. So I'm gonna leave that because it's zip tied onto the frame, and maybe I'll find a charging unit and just be able to hook that battery up. I'll hook it to the battery later. If not, I can, always get something else. Now the problem is this is so tight in here, it barely fits. You gotta make sure all your wires are moved out of the way without unplugging anything, without getting any other wires pinched, without getting a little rubber thing. But before you send it all the way home, you have to connect a little tube in there and then pull your little wires up. Everything's so tiny. It's such a small bike. And I forgot to throw the little slug things, the little nuts that go in the battery. That didn't taste right. Tooey. Yuck. I think I got a little battery acid on that. Okay, well that can't be good. And slide these in like so, and we can let it down as I go further in. Let me see if I can get these guys connected up. These little nuts don't look the greatest. I had a couple more. Yeah, they're the same. Exact same thing because it's the exact same battery. I'll put in my washer. Put these guys in here. Hopefully it goes. Yeah, it's slipping back down in there. That's fine. Get the positive on there. Oh, my hands are just too big for these tiny little nuts and bolts. I need something bigger to work on. I'm not a motorcycle mechanic, that's for sure, even though this is about the simplest thing you can do to a motorcycle is change out the battery. There we go. And then there's this little rubber strap that, if you can get your fingers in there, boom, holds down the battery. Now I'm just going to tighten that with a screwdriver and we'll be ready to go. All right. Just a little bit of here. Cover up the terminals. And a little bit of there. Come on. Get down there. I want to make sure this doesn't ground out against anything. It is so tight. And there's a little plug wire here. Make sure that's all plugged in. And that's the other end of that charger deal. I'm really half tempted just to take that out. I mean, it's only one zip tie. Yeah, let's just take it off. Oddly enough, I don't have any clippers, so I'm just gonna carefully saw through this as not to chip the paint, and pull this guy completely out so we don't have wires dangling along the side there. I'm sure this came in handy when they had to store them all winter. Oops, should I run out the other way? Come out the top, there it goes. Yeah, I mean, the cord's nice and everything, but without the other unit, not much good. So now we got a little bit more room in there. Still don't like how that wire cover is. Okay, that's better. Everything looks good in here. We slide our seat back on. One thing I don't like about the seat is it actually bolts down. Not gonna do you a lot of good if you're out and about and you don't have tools on you and you need to jump start your bike. But it just slides down like that. And it has 2 8mm go right in the side there. But again, if you don't have a 8mm wrench or something on you, and your battery goes dead, well, I guess you push start it. That's another thing I'm gonna have to teach is how to do a running push start on a motorcycle. You know, strangely enough, with my roadside assistance job, I've had to do 2 jump starts on motorcycles. People call me out because they don't know how to push start their motorcycle. One guy, you know, I just started it for him and explained to him why and how you push start a motorcycle. The other guy, he's alongside the interstate and it just went dead, whatever. I don't know what happened, but I actually just demonstrated, told him to pop it in gear and, you know, while I pushed him. So got a running start, pushed him, fired up, and bike took off. I don't know why. If you have a motorcycle, you don't already know that. But there's a lot of people that have motorcycles that, you know, can't get themselves out of trouble, apparently. But yeah, push starting motorcycles, one of the first things you ought to know before you get your motorcycle's license. I'm thinking it probably should be on the test. There we go. Solid. All right, what's up next? Well, we probably should try starting this, and let's do all our checks. Actually, this wasn't turned off. Well, reserve, it points this way. Prime, right? Or is it, was that on? Oh, no, that's on. That's off, that's reserve. Okay, because, you know, there's a little arrow right there that says fuel. It's been a long time since I rode a bike, so fuel is on the on position, which it really should have been off. We don't have any leaks or anything. Check these rubber hoses, everything looks good there, because I was looking at another one of these bikes and it said one bike had a fuel leak underneath the tank. So want to make sure this hasn't been sitting around too long. And our key here in the on position. We probably should take one of those off and have one as a spare somewhere. Okay, our turn signal's on. Let's see, poke that. We have headlights, we have marker lights. This one seems to be a little bit off. It's not straight, but yeah, good enough. Let's see. That on. We have it in neutral. Let's see. Here's our choke. Ooh, we got a horn. And there's our starter button. So we should be ready to go. Okay. We go ahead and put the choke in just in case. Give it a couple pumps. This is carbureted, right? Yeah, not fuel injected. 2015. They still make carburetors. That's cool. And button. Wow. Well, that started right up. Give it a little less choke. Let it run for a minute. Don't just rev it up. Let me let out on the clutch a little bit. That's pretty good. Take the choke all the way off. It sounds pretty good. Only has 600 miles on it. It should sound pretty good, huh? All right, I am going to let it sit here and run for a little while. I'm going to turn it around so the exhaust goes out instead of in. Not the world's best turning radius. All right. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good for a tiny 250. I'm gonna let it sit here and run for a little bit, let it warm up, and then we'll take it out, see what she can do. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm sure if I cared, those would be really easy to replace. You know what I just noticed? There's no mirrors. No mirrors on a training bike? That's weird. Wonder if they broke or something, or if they needed it on another bike, but you'd think it would have mirrors on it. Training somebody. Maybe not, I don't know. Was that an option? There's a place to mount them, but I'm definitely gonna order some mirrors in the near future here. All right, the bike is out of the garage, it's all warmed up, and we have this nice empty parking lot in which to work in. And let's take it out and take it for a little spin. There's an access road and everything right around here. And we'll see how she does. I'm pretty sure it's gonna do pretty good, but let's find out real quick. So, just gonna jump on here, kickstand up. It's been a while since I've ridden a motorcycle, so try not to judge me. There we go. Nice and smooth like. All right. No traffic. Second gear. Third gear. Fourth gear. We got 5. We'll just test it out real quick. 5th gear. There we go. We don't need 5th gear. Don't need 4th gear. All right. Pretty smooth so far. Yeah, it's a stop sign, but this is a private parking lot. Not that big a deal. It rides really smooth. It's kind of small on me, but still comfortable. Let's take it out on this access road and see how she does. Yep, has a little more clutch slippage than it should have been. And I'm not real smooth at shifting gears yet. That's gonna take a little time to get back used to again. Man, I haven't ridden a motorcycle in, I don't know, 7, 8 years, maybe 10. I can't even remember what the last motorcycle I rode was. Whose it was. I drove a Slingshot, but that doesn't exactly count as a motorcycle, even though it's titled as a motorcycle. All right. Ah, she runs good. There's all 5 gears. We're only going about 30 miles an hour. Nothing crazy. Just want to get her back into the swing of riding again. As old as that battery was, what I say, 20, 22? I mean, batteries last what, maybe 3 years? So that was pretty close. I'm sure it was in service until probably it probably didn't come into service this year. So it probably was good until like the battery expired. 10 years old, it probably didn't make it out this year. So they just repaved the street. That looks good. Give it a little, whoops, give it a little funk. There we go. Yeah, she's no rocket ship, that's for sure, but it's more than plenty fast enough to get you in trouble if you don't know how to ride. little bit more juice. Full throttle. That's a full pull right there. Yeah. Nah, not fast. Not fast. Probably a 15-second quarter mile, I would say. But man, she feels good. See how she maneuvers. Go back to our empty spot. All right. First gear. Rides good, rides good. Turns good. Has a fine turning radius when you're riding it. Yeah, this is fun. Oh, look at all the skid marks. Tiny bikes are fun. Somebody's been doing burnouts here, huh? That was not me, I swear. Definitely not me. I don't have anything that'll do burnouts like that. Oh yeah, ride's good. All right, well, that's a pretty good test ride. I'll slide her back in neutral. There we go. All right, we can have a better look at her out here in the light. Tires. I may want to change the tires. I mean, I have a feeling that the tires are 10 years old. Why would they change them? Huh? Yeah, that would be a concern to have old tires. Surely there's a date code on there somewhere. I can't see it. Is that it? I don't know. Are date codes on motorcycles different than from regular tires? I'll have to look a little bit better, but man, she's in good shape. She rides really good. I don't know what these numbers are. I don't know how to read these. Yep, don't know. I should have checked the air pressure on it too. Brakes work good. No leaks. No funny smells really. Tires, I mean, they appear to be in good shape. But before it goes out on the highway, I think I should change the tires. That's a nice looking bike for, you know, what it is. All right. I guess it's time to take it back. Oops. Boy, I didn't release the throttle. I'm rusty. Oh my gosh. So I have to maybe change the fluids too. Usually the city, actually this is state owned, state of Indiana owned. They usually take pretty good care of their vehicles, but with only 600 miles on it, maybe it didn't roll around to the mileage recommendations to change the oil. So it could have 10-year-old oil in it, 11-year-old oil, or maybe they changed it like once a season. I would probably just only change it once a season myself. I mean, it's a motorcycle, it doesn't have any miles on it. But yeah, we should change the oil. Probably should change the plug. It runs good though. There's nothing wrong with the way it runs. It's so smooth. The only thing that's not smooth is the way I shift. I haven't quite got it back yet, but we're getting there. Oh, I missed riding a motorcycle. This is good. I do have a bid in on another one, and I am the high bidder, and it should have already ended by now. So I'm gonna have to see if I won that bid or not. I just put in the most I wanted to bid on it, and I was only up by like $25. So I think it was like $1,200. Same price as this one, same motorcycle, same everything. It had 800 miles on it instead of 600 miles. That was the only difference. But I'm kind of hoping I didn't win it, because I would like to be under $1,000 on the next one. There we go. Change that gear one more time. Yeah, I'm not wearing a helmet in the state of Indiana. It's not required unless you're just on a beginner's permit, but definitely should be wearing a helmet. And I will. I just want to get an open face one instead of the closed face one I use for drag racing. There's some bumps. It doesn't take the bumps. I mean, it's okay. I guess this takes it like a motorcycle. But it doesn't take it like a, see, the camera moved. It doesn't take it like a gold wing or anything like that. So, all right, let's get this thing back to the house and get this wrapped up. All right, well, that was fun indeed. I did learn something I didn't know. Apparently, let me start this back up again. When you put the kickstand down, I learned something new. I also do. I guess it only does it in gear. I had it in gear. I pulled in. I hadn't released the clutch yet. I put the kickstand down. Boom. It dies. So, safety feature when you have it in gear, because it didn't do it in neutral. And I didn't have it in, now it's in neutral. So, when you put the kickstand down and it's in gear, that's a safety override shut-off switch dealio. So yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, all in all, it is a good bike. Perfect for the beginner. Well, next up on the list, after I get the mirrors on, is motorcycle lessons. I've never given riding lessons to anyone ever. So this may be interesting. I'm gonna send my daughter to riding school anyway, so she can learn anything that I miss. But I'm gonna go over the basics, teach all the stuff that I know, send her to riding school, and let her get her license, and hopefully everything works out okay. Fingers crossed. So that is gonna wrap it up for this episode of Street Rag Garage. Until next time.